What's up guys, welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to give you some tips about how you can find the right gear for you when you want to make beats. The reason I'm making this video is because I got a lot of questions about gear, buying gear, what kind of gear you need, especially when you want to start out with making beats. That's the reason I'm making this video, and I'm going to give you a few questions you have to ask yourself before you want to buy gear. So let's get into the questions. So the questions you have to ask yourself are, I want to add a huge disclaimer. This is one method to find the right gear for you. There are several methods, but this is a method I use when I want to buy new gear, or when I started out, I thought about these questions. So I think these questions will help you out also when you want to buy gear. So the first question you ask yourself is, which producer do I like, or which beatmaker I look up to, or which producer sounds right to me? This is an example I can give you. For example, if you like DJ Premier, Premier uses the MPC-60. Fat chance you want to buy an MPC-60 when your idol or favorite producer is J Dilla. You look at MPC-3000. He used SP-303 in his newer stuff. Of course, these are pretty expensive options. When you like Ninth Wonder, for example, that would be a much cheaper option because he used to use Fruity Loops, and now he uses a machine. I think the newest version, but he used to use the MK1, I think now the MK2, and probably now the newest version of that line. And that's a simple question you can ask yourself. With a little bit of research, you can find these guys and what kind of gear they used. Question 2 is the following. You have to ask yourself, what do I like about their sound? Is it the way the drums sound? Is it the way the samples sound? Is it the way the bass line sounds? Is it the way the whole beat sounds in its entirety? Because when you have the DJ Premier example, he has an MPC-60, so it's a very gritty lo-fi sound. And I don't mean like the genre lo-fi, but it's like, I think 12-bit, it's a 12-bit sampler. So the bit rate is very low, it's very muddy, so you could consider, of course, the MPC-60, but you also have like rag versions that also have that same sound, like the S950. That's a fairly cheap sampler module. It goes for about 150 euros or dollars, and you can use that by using a MIDI keyboard. For example, you can control it by using a MIDI keyboard and record it into your DAW. So a DAW is like Fruity Loops or Ableton or whichever software program you use. DAW is a digital audio workstation, and that is, for example, Ableton, Fruity Loops, or Reason. That is the recording software that you can record your beats that you make with the S950, for example, with your MIDI keyboard. Let's go to the third question. The third question is, what's your budget? If your budget is about 500 euros or dollars, or maybe even less, you can buy a lot of stuff secondhand. You have a lot of great options secondhand. You can go for the MPC 1000, the MPC 500, maybe even if you're lucky, 2000 XL or MPC 2000. You have the option of buying SP 404 from Roland, a Boss SP 303. Those are also cheaper than 500 euros or dollars. So you're pretty much set as far as samplers go on the hardware side. When you want to go for a DAW, like Ableton, Fruity Loops, or Reason, they have different packages. So they have always like a cheap version, a middle version, and a pro version. And you can make a selection on what is important for you in this case. So for example, Ableton has Ableton Lite. Ableton Lite even comes with external sound cards like a Focusrite or another card of choice. They bundle them with that sound card, so you can start recording stuff, you can make beats. So for example, the Ableton Lite version is like the cheapest version, and sometimes you can get it for free with the sound card. I don't know what the price is exactly, but I think it's not even more expensive than 100 euros or dollars, and that is a good way to start. You get 8 tracks of recording, MIDI or audio, so you can make like 4 tracks of MIDI, 4 tracks of audio, or vice versa. So you can start making beats that way. Fruity Loops has some packages you can choose from, and I think 500 euros you can probably, or dollars, you can probably get most expensive version, but you don't have to get that one because you get functions that you probably won't even use when you start out. For Reason, I think it's the same thing. So you can buy hardware and software for less than 500 euros to start out with. With the software, you have the Pro, that you also have like some MIDI instruments like strings, bass sounds you can play with your keyboard, and piano sounds, for example. But when you go the sampling route, it doesn't really matter if you go for hardware or software. You can sample on Ableton or a Reason or Logic for that matter. And of course you can sample on the samplers like the MPCs and the SPs, and even an Ensaniq ASR if you are into that. That's a keyboard that is mainly a sampler, so you can sample with that keyboard, and you can even use it as a MIDI keyboard if you want to. So bottom line, you don't have to spend more than 500 euros or dollars to get a nice hardware sampler or get a nice DAW. The fourth question is actually quite a strange question, because the question is, do I actually need to buy gear? Because sometimes you already have software or gear that you can make beats with. For example, you have the Koala sampler on your iPhone or your Android device. You can buy in the App Store or in the Apple Store for, I think, a max of 30 bucks, but I have to check. I will put it up here on the screen. But that's a very cheap way to get into it. So you don't have to buy gear, you only have to have a smartphone. So everybody has a smartphone, so that would be a great way to start. Sometimes you already have a free DAW maybe. You have Reaper, that's free. You can also use GarageBand on a Mac computer. That is software that you get for free with your Mac. So that is a way to start. And there are several ways to record beats, especially when it's with a smartphone or with free software that you already have on your computer. If you have those things, I would advise to start out with that, so you can just dabble and maybe get into beat making or just have a feel for it. And of course, if you want to buy gear, you can obviously do that, but sometimes you forget that you already have something that you can make beats with. So those are things to consider. Let's summarize all the questions you ask yourself when you want to buy new gear. So the first question would be, who is my favorite producer or beat maker? Second question will be, what do I like about their sound? The third question will be, what is my budget? And the fourth question is, do I even need any gear in the first place? So we have the questions. We applied those questions to answer if you need gear and what kind of gear you need to get the sound you want. As a bonus, I'm going to tell you which producers use which gear. I have a list, and that could probably help you with those questions. And of course, Google is your friend, but in this case, I will give you this information as a gift to you. Example, if you like Alchemist, if you like the old Alchemist, you can buy an ASR 10 from an Ensaniq. If you like the newer Alchemist, you can buy the MPC 2500. If you like Sam I Am, he uses the SP404 for making beats and playing his sets. If you like how Madlib sounds, in his early days he used several devices, but he's known for using the Boss SP303, and at this moment he uses an iPad app. Yes, you heard it right. An iPad app called Beatmaker 3. So you can download that from the App Store and you can make beats like Madlib. Crazy, right? If you have any questions regarding gear, let me know. I would be more than happy to answer your questions about gear because I love gear, as you probably would have noticed. And let me know in the comments, what gear do you use and how did you find out that that was the gear for you? And don't forget to do the thumbs up, and don't forget to share this video with your friends or beatmaking buddies. Feel free to share it, subscribe of course, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.